This problem with women being 304s is not going away. If anything, it's becoming more of a rampant problem. Girls are losing their virginities earlier and earlier. Women are more incentivized to be 304s with the explosion of OnlyFans and the success. We got bimbos like Sophie Rain running around here talking about I made more money than LeBron James or whatever. So yes, the times have changed. Women are more promiscuous. They believe in feminism. They don't believe in male authority. They don't respect the majority of men. So when I tell guys to get out there and get your body count up, I wish it wasn't that way, but this is the new normal. This is how it is now. Okay, I love this. I love this. Let's address this because this is actually a critique we get a lot. So let's go through this one by one, right?
And I think she put it well.
As an excuse. About my biggest.
She broke down this problem here. She was seeing it firsthand. This was the community that she was in, and I think she put it well. Take a listen.
Let me tell you about my biggest issue with red pill influencers. I used to think they all wanted to defeat feminism, but now I'm just realizing that they use feminism as an excuse to encourage negativity and toxic behavior amongst men. They bitch about women being hoes, but encourage men to be more promiscuous and create more hoes. They nihilistically claim that modern women are completely irredeemable, and rather than encouraging men and women to go change their ways and right the wrongs, they just bitch and moan while collecting a paycheck from.
Okay, let's go ahead and break this down. Because I love that she said this shit because this is a big critique that a lot of these stupid people have of the red pill saying, you're complaining about the problems with feminism, but then you're over here advising guys to, smash girls and everything else like this. Let me tell you why, okay? Let's go ahead and go through this because put this to fucking bed. Because it's one of the big criticisms that guys like myself and other people in this side of the internet get. Here's the fucking reality. Since the 1960s, feminism has evolved, grown, and become a worldwide fucking phenomenon. It's seeped its ugly fucking head into societies and countries that otherwise will never happen. Women can drive now in Saudi Arabia. They can go ahead and carry jobs in the Middle East, which is probably one of the slowest to acclimate to this feminist problem. So what does that tell you guys? This tells you that even in the most conservative of countries, feminism is starting to slowly rear its ugly head and push into society. Now, I mentioned the Middle East to show you guys of how far we've come along. Here in the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Western Europe, these first world countries, women effectively have more value than men. They have more rights, they have more privileges, because they could do the proverbial double dip that I was explaining before. So when I say that guys need to get out there and get experience with women and smash these girls and do what they got to do, she's saying, oh, well, you're over here complaining about feminism, blah, blah, but you're telling guys to go out and smash those very same girls. Yeah, because I am intelligent enough to understand that women are not going to concede any of the ground that they've taken. I'm going to say that again. When I dispense this advice and I tell guys to do these things, it's not because I want them to do it just out of nothing. It's that I understand that we are too far gone. This is a movement that's been going on since the 1960s in the United States in particular. Women are not going to concede any of the ground that they've taken in this period of time. They're not going back in the kitchen. They're not going to start being more ladylike. They're not going to stop being 304s. They're not going to stop disrespecting men. They're not going to stop being insufferable. They're not going to stop. And the reason why they're not going to stop is why the fuck should they? If you have every single advantage as a female, where on one end, you can go to a good school, get a job, get a career, and get any single title that a man can have. But on the other hand, you can also be infantilized and treated like a lady and not take accountability or deal with consequences for your actions. Why the fuck would you concede any of that? Why? And that brings me to my point. I know we're not going backwards. I know that women aren't going to become traditional again. I know that a majority of them are not going back to the fucking kitchen. I know this because they have zero incentive to do so. Why go ahead and make themselves a one-trick pony when they already have the ability to be a multi-trick pony? They could be a feminist today. They could be a housewife tomorrow. They could be a mom breastfeeding the week after that. They can choose whatever the fuck they want to do. And I think that it's very important that you guys understand this. One thing about women is that they will fight to have access to stuff and have choice. What do I mean by this? Even women that are pro-life will sit there and vote for a candidate that is pro-choice. Does that make sense? I'm gonna say that again for you guys. Women have no problem with voting for or allowing people to be involved in a decision-making process that don't actually give them the benefit that they're fighting for. So I can't tell you guys how many times I've seen women that are pro-life go ahead and still vote for a candidate that's pro-choice. Why? Because they look at it like we don't want our rights ever being infringed upon. Even if I don't agree with it, I want other women to have the right to do it. How many times have you guys seen on the show? I say we need to repeal the 19th Amendment. I don't think women should have the right to vote. And women will sit there and get mad at me. And I'll be like, okay, name the 3 fucking branches. Stupid. They don't know. But it's not because they don't want, when they're sitting there arguing with me for women to vote, it's not because they're arguing for themselves. They're arguing as a collective. The hive mind is strong, chat. The hive mind is strong. So even if they don't agree or believe in a principle, they will go ahead and defend that principle so other women can get that benefit. It's how they've been able to accumulate all this power over the time. So why am I telling you guys all this? I'm setting the stage to let you guys know we're not going fucking backwards. We're not regressing after we've progressed all this way forward with feminism. We're not going back. So since I know that we're not going back, because even the most conservative of women by the way, will fight so that women can be 304s. Since I know this, I tell guys that that's the new normal, which means you need to have experience with females nowadays. You just do, unfortunately. And the reason why you have to have experience is because women nowadays have all this power, they have all this leverage, and then if you go ahead and get married to one of them, they have all the power. You could lose your money, you could lose your house, you could lose your kids, you could lose alimony, you could lose your livelihood. So marriage is no longer an institution set up for men to win. It's an institution set up for women to win because the laws, unfortunately, have not caught up to the progress that feminism has made. The laws are still written in a way where men were the primary breadwinner, and if a man did decide to go ahead and leave his woman high and dry, the family courts would fucking punish him for that. That's why these laws are so damaging to men. They're damaging to men to be a deterrent from you leaving her high and dry. Because before women worked, the guy was a breadwinner. If he decided to just up and leave his female, well, you got to pay for that now. You got her to a certain lifestyle. You provide all the money. You're not going to just leave her high and dry and make her our problem. Fuck that. You got to pay her alimony. You got to give her child support, etc. But the problem is that these laws have not caught up to the progression that feminism has made. And now that you understand the political climate that we're at, this is why I dispense the advice that I do. Women get more experience with than men do sexually. They deal with the opposite gender at a rate that far exceeds men dealing with women. So in order for you to be able to identify and then select a girl that will be a good wife to you long term, you need to be able to vet her. You got to be able to understand how women think. And you're only going to get this experience, unfortunately, as a man by getting out there and smashing girls. So when she's saying this stupid shit about, oh, well, you know, you're over here advocating for guys to go hook up with girls or whatever, you're part of the problem. What she doesn't realize is the problem ain't going away. That's what these bimbos like this chick right here fail to realize. This problem with women being 304s is not going away. If anything, it's becoming more of a rampant problem. Girls are losing their virginities earlier and earlier. Women are more incentivized to be 304s with the explosion of OnlyFans and the success. It has now basically become mainstream for women to basically become influencers, aka porn stars. It's more socially acceptable. You got bimbos like fucking Sophie Rain running around here talking about I made more money than LeBron James or whatever. Damn near every single one of these female influencers is basically a softcore porn star. So yes, the times have changed. Women are more promiscuous. They believe in feminism. They don't believe in male authority. They don't respect the majority of men. So when I tell guys to get out there and fucking, get your body count up, I wish it wasn't that way, but this is the new normal. This is how it is now. So the only way you're going to be able to deal with this fucking problem is to go in with your eyes wide open. And the only way to get your eyes wide open is to deal with women, hook up with them, figure out which girls you like, which ones you don't, and then most importantly, be able to identify women that aren't good long-term partners. Because if you never got your fucking pee-pee wet, and then all of a sudden you smash this one girl, now you're fucking stuck on a plantation. Never got your dick sucked before, now you're fucking simping for some bitch. And you don't know any better because this is your first partner. So she's over here selling you the dream, telling you, oh, I'm a good girl, blah, 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 and your dumbass can't fucking see the difference. You don't see all the red flags because, you were a virgin when you met her. This sets you up for failure. I've told you guys this before and I'll say it again. Promiscuous women will ruin your life. They really will. So I'd rather you guys go out there, smash a bunch, be able to identify these women, and then never commit to them. Rather than go ahead and be the guy, nice guy, be the good guy, hold your virginity, then go ahead and get one of these girls, rescue her from being a 304, and then she turns around and fucking ends your life. Not literally, but I mean like making it miserable. Because I'm telling y'all, man, promiscuous women will fucking destroy your life, dude. They will. And the crazy part is we live in a society that no longer shames them for being promiscuous. That's something else you got to get in your head. We live in a world now where they tell women your happiness overrides everything. Okay? It's totally acceptable to leave your husband, leave your man, leave your family, leave your kids in pursuit of your own happiness. And that should override everything else. Men will sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness. Completely different.
Fatality.
So when bimbos like this chick over here are saying, oh, well, these red pill guys advocate for men to go out there and smash a bunch of girls, it's hypocrisy. No, this is the new normal. So this is how men have to train. In order for you to identify 304 so that you never wife them, you need to be around 304s, unfortunately. Because the other thing I want you to be able to do also, besides being able to identify 304s, I don't want sex to have power over you guys. Does that make sense? Because here's the thing. If you're a guy that isn't sexually experienced and some girl, gets your pee-pee wet for you, you're going to be more inclined to make really bad decisions or simp or lose focus because you've never got laid before. But if you can go ahead and make it where sex isn't that big a deal to you, who gives a shit? It's going to put you in a way more powerful position. Why? Because female game is leveraging sex for compliance. Okay? All you stupid ass niggas in here, pay attention. Female game is simply leveraging sex for compliance. So in other words, you got to take me out on a date. You got to go take out the trash. You got to do X, Y, Z to get sexual access to me. Now, if you're a fucking monkey simp, and you don't properly understand this dynamic, you're going to get fucking caught hook, line, and sinker. Next thing you know, your dumbass over here putting rose petals on beds. You're over here being a simp, buying her gifts, getting her a new car and shit like that, like a fucking idiot. You only known her for a month because you are not aware of the fact that this is how women run game. Leverage compliance for leverage sex for compliance. But if sex doesn't mean anything to you anymore, it's not that big a deal because you're not thirsty. Well, guess what? Now they have no power over you. Now you have that 2020 clarity. You got that post-nut clarity, which is what I want you guys to operate from most perspectives, where women can no longer use you. This is basically where I want you guys to be. I'm sure a bunch of you guys fucking go in here in the chat. Whatever. That's not what matters. But you know when you guys bust that nut pause and you get that moment of clarity, you're like, oh my God, shit. What was I thinking? I want you guys to have that mindset 24-7. You want to know why? Because when you have that mindset 24-7, women can't finesse you. You understand? Post-nut clarity is the most powerful tool that men have. Now, none of us are fucking Gandhi in here, so I get it. It's going to be very difficult to maintain that mindset all the time. But the longer you can maintain that post-nut clarity mindset, the better off you're going to be. It is a fucking superpower. It really is a superpower. So this is why, to answer this bimbo stupid ass fucking claim here, this is why I tell guys they need to be sexually experienced dealing with women so that women can't leverage sex against you for compliance. Because I know that that's their game. And if that's their game, that is how you effectively combat it.